This City of Sioux Falls police team means so much to the people of this town, means so much to me. So when you have the opportunity to put someone in a really esteemed leadership role, to really help motivate and coach and ultimately lead this team that we care so much about. Folks, you just have to understand this is a really, really big deal. These decisions are not ones that first of all, any mayor would take lightly, but this is one that ultimately is going to impact this town for a long, long time. And I've told you in no uncertain terms, if there's one thing that impacts a town's quality of life, it's do they feel safe? Do they feel secure? Do they sleep good at night? Well, in this town, we take public safety at just such a high level and such an important level. So when I had the opportunity to select our next assistant chief for this town, my goodness gracious, I knew it was going to be just first of all a lot of fun, but it was just so important. So, what did we do? Well, my first thought was I just wanted to evaluate the talent that we had within the organization, and did we have enough talent to fill this critical role? No doubt, none. I knew we had the talent, and that's why I made a conscious decision that I wanted to fill the role within the confines of the women and the men that were already serving this great city on the police team. I made the announcement, encouraged people to apply, and guess what, Sioux Falls? We had 11 individuals that were already on the team that wanted to go into this battle royal and ultimately try to earn the honor to serve their city as the assistant police chief. 11. Well, then I brought in some tactics that I had utilized when I was in corporate America, and that was I wanted to engage a team of folks that I knew cared as much about this as I did, as well as when we pulled them together, these men and women would really help kind of weed through these 11 incredibly qualified candidates and help get it down to a level where I could ultimately interview those top candidates. I do want to introduce those to the city of Sioux Falls now. To my right is a businessman and citizen, Jim Lowe. To my left is Minnehaha County Deputy Sheriff Michelle Boyd. Darren Ketchum, who's with Metro 911, and I just consider an up-and-coming rising star in the city of Sioux Falls and Minnehaha County. Darren Ketchum. HR Director, Human Resources Director Bill O'Toole, who really manages the human resources of this city in such a grand way, Bill O'Toole. And then, of course, you all know him, you all care for him, and most of us pray for him, Police Chief Doug Barthel. These five community leaders, they interviewed all 11 candidates, and as I think Minnehaha County Deputy Sheriff Michelle Boyd would say, all 11 of these would serve at the highest level in any city, in any county, in any state across the country. That's just how wonderful these men and women are that serve our city. But I did ask them to get it down to some what they considered some top candidates, and they did that. First of all, I do want to recognize their sacrifice. I do want to recognize the work and the sweat and that they put into the effort. So, thank you. But ultimately, they did give me a number of candidates to ultimately interview, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. And as these interviews carried on, there were times where with these candidates, I just had to stop and look them in the eye, as I did this candidate to my right, and just stop and wonder in amazement at the quality of the individuals that I was interviewing. Such a tough choice, because all of the candidates stood out in just such a grand way, and all of them not only wanted to serve. Let me tell you something, Sioux Falls. They could serve, and they would serve with in such a valiant way, and they would make us proud. But ultimately, I did make a decision that I believe is a great one, and it's a great one because of the level of talent that this 19-year veteran of the city of Sioux Falls, of this police team, who is serviced and he is committed and he is sacrificed, and it's just so fitting to have his bride and his son and his daughter here as well, because they sacrificed over those 19 years as well. But it is with great pleasure, it is with great honor that I introduce the city of Sioux Falls, the almost 70,000 people that call this city home. It is my pleasure to let you know that the new Assistant Police Chief for the citizens of Sioux Falls, his name is Assistant Chief Matt Burns. I've talked enough. I've gotten emotional enough, but I do want to just kind of give you some insight. And I thought, what better insight, or what a better way to give you insight is to have you listen to somebody who doesn't do this every day, doesn't serve the citizens of Sioux Falls every day as a public employer, as a public servant. I wanted to bring you that citizen, that businessman, Jim Lowe. Just have him give you some of the perspective, not only on Assistant Chief Matt Burns, but maybe on some of the other candidates that competed in this battle royal. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, congratulations, Matt.
Thank you.
Yes, you'll do a heck of a job. I've lived in Sioux Falls, South Dakota since 1972, 42 years. And when the mayor called me last week and asked me if I would serve on this panel questioning the next potential chief, assistant chief, I was thrilled to do so. I didn't know what I was getting into. But over a 2-day period, we interviewed, as the mayor said, 11 candidates. Sergeants, lieutenants, captains, and I can tell you from the sergeants all the way through to the captains, the quality of the candidates were excellent. I learned a lot about the police department. I said to them, I've never had much interaction with the police other than when the red light goes on and they pull me over for a speeding ticket, which I've done once or twice. But I learned a lot about the department, from coffee with cops, walk a block with a cop, casting with cops, taking kids fishing. The one thing that impressed me most of all was kits for kids. When these policemen go out on these child abuse situations, they have a kit in the car that they give to the kid. And so those are things I'm not so sure that the public knows about. And I'm going to spread that word around. But those 11 candidates were excellent candidates. The education preparation that they put in to serve the community of Sioux Falls is outstanding. I mean, the resumes, it went on and on about the education, the FBI training, terrorist training, you name it, they have done it. And from what I understand, these 11, there's lots of other candidates out there that did not come forward to submit their application that are just as qualified. So as I speak to the citizens of Sioux Falls, as one of you, we can be very proud. We can sleep very well knowing that this force is behind us and taking care of us. And so with that, again, thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity, and congratulations, Matt. I look forward to seeing you. And I'm going to turn it over to the Chief now. Chief's got the last word.
Thank you, my friend.
Well, I certainly echo what the mayor and Jim have said. The quality of candidates that we have and the officers that we have within our department is second to none. I would put them up against any in the country. It's, as the mayor also said, it's an extremely difficult choice to make when you're dealing with the best of the best. And this is a very important position for us as we go forward. But I couldn't be more pleased with the selection of Lieutenant Burns and soon-to-be Assistant Chief Burns as the next one to help lead this department. He certainly has an impressive record with our department and a resume to go along with that. Although one thing, as I look through his list of accomplishments and things that he's done throughout his career, there's one that stands out to me that maybe might not be one that you might certainly think is the top one, but at one point he was helped to teach ethics to our officers and new officers, and so when I think of Matt, I think of ethics and how ethical he is, and his level of profession is second to none. And that's why I couldn't be more pleased with the choice. It's going to be sad to see Assistant Chief Lyon go on when she retires next month, but it's a great opportunity for Matt and certainly for our department in this city, so I'm looking forward to it. So on behalf of the department, congratulations, Matt. We're looking forward to having you on board. So feel free to say a few words if you'd like.
Thank you.
Chief, let's give it to him. It's all yours. We're going to move away
All right.
from you now.
Thank you.
You're center stage, buddy. You've earned it. And you got to get used to both microphones.
Yeah, here we go.
Thank you all for coming. This is clearly an important day in my life. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief, for the confidence you've shown in me. You do tremendous work in this city and have been an incredible example to me and every officer in this department. For nearly 19 years now, I've had the distinct honor and pleasure to work with an incredible group of professionals who do a job that has a lot of ways that it could go, and they handle it all with grace and professionalism, and they serve this community in ways that many citizens don't even realize. The things that they do that don't make the media or don't make the log. It's an honor to be a part of the process. It's an honor to be selected. I have entered this process just knowing that going through the process alone would make me better, and to ultimately be selected out of the group of people that applied is just it's incredible. So you have my pledge as Assistant Chief going forward to always think of the citizens first and the impact that our job has on them, and to maintain the high standards that they expect of us as a department, and for us to maintain the high expectations that we have of ourselves. And thank you all.